welcome. In studio today, we are talking with the pastry chef of the Sheraton Phoenix Downtown Hotel, Winnona Herr. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Winnona is actually our December cover story. She has a very, very unique background as to how she got into the pastry business. But first and foremost here, what I want to talk about is I brought you in today because you're an expert in pastry, obviously. But we want to talk about people are going to be baking a lot for the holidays. So what are some, mistakes in the kitchen that they can prevent, or some tricks and things that they can do to make sure that their recipe turns out the way it's supposed to?
Well, when it comes to holiday baking, I think the biggest mistake people make is they put way too much pressure on themselves. Stress, and more stress. And there's already way too much of that at the holidays. So I have some cool tricks or ideas that maybe make things simple.
Okay.
And stuff that you can do ahead, so you're not like scrambling last second to put out a big spread of dessert or whatever you're doing.
Okay.
So something that we grew up doing was making, a lot of Christmas cookies at the holidays.
Right.
So a fun thing to do with your kids, and you can do this ahead, is make little gingerbread cookies. And what we did too is we would tie strings to them so we can hang them on the Christmas tree.
That's easy.
So what you do is you roll out your dough, you cut a hole in. I just use a tip, like a piping tip.
Okay.
You cut a hole into the raw dough and then you bake it. And after it bakes, you can put the string on it and hang
Instead
it
of trying to do it before, or once it comes out and it's hard.
Right. And the hole will stay open. And the other cool trick is make an egg wash with just egg yolks and milk, like half and half, equal parts.
Okay.
Put some red food dye in it and brush your cookies before you put them in the oven, and you get this very pretty, shiny finish on your cookies. And then after that, then you can see what I've done here is just taken the icing and piped and put the glitter or whatever you got on there.
That's easy enough for the kids to get involved with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that option.
Great.
Something else that I think is fun for the holidays, if you look over here, I've got some, they're like cake pops or even chocolate truffles that you could just put on a stick. And I've just taken granulated sugar, put some food color into it, and put it in a jar. It's just a jar or a
jar
vase
also has the sugar in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very festive. That looks great.
And you can make any color you want. You put it on your holiday buffet and it looks pretty.
I'm sorry, what is mixed in with the sugar?
It's just, I put food color in the sugar and you just mix it together till it colors it all, and then you pour it in your glass or whatever.
Great, that's a great idea. Those look beautiful for good decorations also.
Yeah, and then another trick I know everybody's into making these cake pops, and
is kind of a trend right now.
And they're hard to make, and they take a lot of work. You gotta make the cake, crumble it up, bake. It's too much work. Go to the store and buy a sheet cake.
Okay.
And what I do is I take the cake. This has a filling in between it, so it's like 2 layers of cake, and there's frosting between. And I cut it into squares, and then I use these picks, skewers. You can buy, a wooden skewer anywhere, or even like those lollipop sticks. Stick it into the cake, put it in the freezer for a little bit, and then dip it into melted chocolate.
Oh,
and roll it in chocolate shavings and sprinkles, whatever you want. These are carrot cakes, so I rolled them in coconut.
Smart idea.
And they're bite-sized, they're fun, and a lot easier than doing the whole cake pop.
Right, and it makes it more like a finger food.
Yeah.
So, I don't have like a big plate of cake.
Yeah, and then the same thing with these. These are cheesecakes.
Oh.
So instead of baking the cheesecake in a big pan, you can go get a flexi mold. You buy them anywhere now, at Target. I know TJ Maxx has all kinds of cool baking supplies, but it's a silicone mat.
Okay.
And they come in all shapes and sizes, and I just put the cheesecake batter into the mat and I bake it like a cheesecake. Low temperature. You can do a water bath with it. You bake the cheesecakes, then when they're done, you put them in the freezer overnight, take them out, and then again I take the stick, put it in the cheesecake, and dip it in chocolate.
So you would have to make this ahead of time.
Yeah, but you could make the cheesecakes, weeks before and just freeze them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then the day of, you dip it. Same thing with the cake. You can make it and have it all in the freezer.
Eliminate your stress level for the holidays, trying to make everything all at once.
And another thing we do at the hotel, and this is a great holiday item, is making like a fruit and nut chocolate bar.
Oh, right.
You just take chocolate, you melt it down, toast your nuts, you chop up whatever kind of fruit. I put apricots, cranberries, I like pistachios, whatever you want. Melt the chocolate, put the nuts and fruit in it, stir it together, and you just pour it out onto a sheet pan or a cookie sheet. And then when it
You have
sets,
to lay down anything first, like the...
Yeah, I would put down parchment paper first. Or you can use one of those fancy silicone baking mats. That works too.
That's a great idea. Then once you take it out, you just...
And then you just, yeah, you can bang it into pieces or whatever. And then another trick for making cookies. So instead of, you know, making your cookies and baking them and or storing them already baked, what I'd like to do is make the dough. Like if you're doing, what do they call those things? Like a box, icebox cookie or something.
Okay.
So I make the dough, and I roll it into a log, and I wrap it up in parchment paper. And now I stick this in the freezer. And now I can keep this there for weeks or months, however long I want. When I'm ready to serve cookies, or when I need cookies for the holidays, I go to the freezer, I get out one of my cookie logs. And you can do this with any flavor of cookie you want. And now, you just slice it into pieces.
Oh, yeah. That looks good.
Yeah, you could eat this one raw, it would taste good. So just slice this, put it on your cookie sheet, bake it off, and then they're, you know.
A little powdered sugar on it as well?
This is actually just a bit of flour for rolling, because this is raw cookie dough, but you know, you bake these in 10 minutes, you have fresh cookies.
That's a great way to do it.
Homemade fresh cookies, you know, and again, the stress is eliminated because you made these 4 weeks before Christmas.
Right.
Another cool thing for pastry, I love these. These are just a disposable pastry bag.
Okay.
You can buy these in most store. I don't know about the grocery store, but any cake decorating store, or they'll sell them. But they're great. You use them once or twice and you throw them away.
Don't have to worry about a mess.
I don't like keeping
I think that is one of your favorite kitchen.
Yeah, it is. And then again, it's not cut on the bottom, so you put any size tip you want, and then you just cut the end. And you can wash them and reuse them, but
You look like a pro with that in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
She's attempting to bake, but now she has a pastry bag. I think she might know what she's doing.
Well, and they come in different sizes. You get little ones for the kids. I do these for the kids when they do the cookie decorating, and just put a rubber band around the top so the stuff doesn't come out of it.
Easy cleanup.
Yeah. And then here's a cool trick too for an easy garnish. Do you want to pass me that chocolate bar there?
Oh, sure. The hidden chocolate bar. I don't know how you can hide it. It's big.
So if you're making a cake, or a Yule log, or whatever, you know, even like a pie or something, and you want some chocolate garnish,
Like we did here.
yeah, kind of like that. I take a peeler and just a bar of chocolate. You can use any kind of chocolate, and just
Adds a little.
you know, you just grate your
That's a great idea.
yeah, and there you go, your shavings.
You can even use that just as a decoration element around your dessert.
Yeah, or if you're making like martini glasses with chocolate pudding or butterscotch pudding, and you put whipped cream and then a bit of this on top.
And your cocktails.
And yeah, or on top of your cocktails. Another cool thing with chocolate is if you have, I know everybody has citrus trees here in Arizona in their backyards. Go pick, these are actually lemon leaves.
Oh, it's a real leaf in there.
Yeah, no, it's not in here anymore.
I was like, wow.
I got lemon leaves from the farm.
Okay.
And you just take the leaf, and on the back of the leaf, you melt chocolate, you paint it on the leaf.
The impression.
You let it set, and then as soon as it hardens, you peel the leaf off. Now, I already peeled all of these, so.
They look
And
like
it looks
real
like
leaves.
a real leaf.
Yeah, that's a great element.
And this is so easy to do. Rose leaves work really well, too.
Would never have thought of that.
And then this is great for if you're going to do a holiday dinner and you have a dessert. You know, you've made a plated dessert, or it's great in a glass, on a slice of cake, on your Yule log, whatever.
On your Yule log. Well, thank you so much for coming by, and I really appreciate you giving the baking tips. I know that I can surely use them in the kitchen this year, so.
Well, thanks for having me.